run, run as fast as you can. No one can catch me because I'm the gingerbread man.
The gingerbread man has run so long that the season has turned to winter. And it's Christmas time. A huge, sparkling Christmas tree has been placed in the middle of the city.
It's my favorite time of the year, Christmas Day.
While the gingerbread man was running among the gift packages left under the tree, he saw a small bakery in front of him. As he approached the bakery, he was stunned because there was a gingerbread girl in the window, fresh out of the oven. That's when the gingerbread man fell in love with the gingerbread girl.
Oh, what a beautiful gingerbread girl. Oh, those eyes.
When a little boy at the bakery wanted to buy the gingerbread girl, the gingerbread man couldn't help but try to stop him, so he started running again. The baker was about to put the gingerbread girl in a paper bag and give it to the child, when the gingerbread man came in and took the baker's shovel.
What are you doing? Leave me alone.
When the gingerbread man slammed the baker's shovel onto the flour-filled counter, the baker's and kids' faces were covered in flour. Just then, the gingerbread girl fell on the counter. The boy wanted to catch the gingerbread girl, but the gingerbread man jumped so hard that he caught the girl and jumped on the boy's head, and from there to the ground. So the gingerbread man and the girl started running together.
My gingerbread! My gingerbread ran away!
The baker's shovel did not wait and went after them.
I will catch you. Come here.
Run, run! Run as fast as you want, baker's shovel! But you can't catch us because we are the gingerbreads!
In this cold weather with flaky snow, the gingerbread man and the girl were running ahead and the baker's shovel behind. And just then, a teddy bear in a child's lap noticed them. Yum! Oh, that delicious gingerbread smell. Hold on, I'll catch you.
Run, run as fast as you can, teddy bear! A baker's shovel is already trying to catch us, but you can't catch us either, because we are the gingerbreads!
While a baker's shovel and a teddy bear were chasing after the gingerbread man and the girl, a snowman with a round head caught their scent.
Ha! 2 gingerbreads? You're absolutely delicious. I'll catch you and eat you.
Run, run as fast as you can, snowman! A baker's shovel and a teddy bear are already trying to catch us, but you can't catch us either, because we are the gingerbreads!
Gingerbreads in the front, the baker's shovel, the teddy bear, and the snowman in the back rushed towards the Christmas tree. At that moment, they passed an old woman selling candy. When one of the candies on the woman's counter saw 2 gingerbread pass by, she also followed them.
I'd rather eat the gingerbread girl. Wait for me! I'm coming! Then run! Run as fast as you can, Candy Cane! A baker's shovel, a teddy bear, and a snowman are already trying to catch us. But you can't catch us either, because we are the gingerbreads!
The baker's shovel, teddy bear, snowman, and candy cane still followed the gingerbreads. But just then, a large snowplow came across the gingerbread man and the girl.
Oh! A snowplow! Watch out, my gingerbread girl!
The scooper of the snowplow scraped the snow so deep that the gingerbread man and the girl fell into the shovel too. The baker's shovel, teddy bear, snowman, and candy cane were very surprised to see them disappear all of a sudden. A bright star at the top of the Christmas tree saw the gingerbread man and the gingerbread girl emerging from under the snow in a short time. Hey, gingerbreads! I think you need me. I can save you if you want.
But what if you eat us?
Do not worry. My stomach is full. Maybe I may when I'm hungry later. The bright star bent the top of the Christmas tree towards the shovel of the car. So the gingerbread man and the gingerbread girl jumped in and clung to the arms of the star.
How high and cold in here!
When the baker's shovel, teddy bear, snowman, and candy cane saw the gingerbreads were at the top of the big Christmas tree, they gave up chasing them. We can never reach the top of the Christmas tree. The weather was getting colder and colder. The gingerbread man and the gingerbread girl were shivering at the top of the Christmas tree. You are so cold. I can warm you up if you want.
Really? But how?
The inside of my mouth is so hot. Nom, 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 nom.
What? No! She's gonna eat us!
The bright star was just about to eat the gingerbread man and girl when Santa and the reindeer appeared in the sky.
Ho, ho, ho. Santa? Santa!
The gingerbread man and the gingerbread girl jumped into Santa's sleigh. Even though the bright star tried to reach with her arms, she could not catch them. Gingerbreads were overjoyed to save their lives while floating in the sleigh.
Run as fast as you can. Even a baker's shovel, a teddy bear, a snowman, a candy cane, and a bright star couldn't catch us. Because we are the gingerbreads! Ho, ho, ho!
One New Year's Eve, people were running around trying to make it somewhere. The stingy old grumpy man, Mr. Scrooge, was looking out the window from his workplace.
What nonsense! All these people running around in the cold. I hate New Year's Eve.
Mr. Scrooge sat at his table and began to check the list of all the people that owed him money. With hesitation, his helper approached him and asked,
Is it possible that I leave a little early today? You know, it's New Year's Eve and I must buy my son a present. No, you may not, mister. Present? How ridiculous. And why leave it to the last day? You should have bought it earlier.
With great sadness, his helper returned to work. At that very moment, the door knocked. As grumpy as himself, his dog barked at the door. Mr. Scrooge's helper opened the door. His young nephew had come to visit him. He invited him over to the New Year's dinner. But because Mr. Scrooge didn't like New Year's, and he thought that the celebrations were nonsense, once again, like always, he refused to go. After his nephew had left, his door knocked again.
Oh, what now? Leave me alone so I can work.
This time, two men entered and asked if it was possible for him to donate some money to the orphans. Mr. Scrooge refused to give them money.
Go on now. Go to another door. I have no money to throw on the streets.
With great sadness, the men walked out. Later that evening, Mr. Scrooge went home, wore his pajamas, and sat on his couch. And right that moment, Some strange things began to happen. Windows and doors began to swing. There were howling noises coming from the door and scary sounds all around. The dog began to bark once again. At first, Mr. Scrooge didn't take any notice of this, but then all of a sudden a ghost appeared right in front of him. Mr. Scrooge had never been so frightened in his whole entire life. The ghost was his friend from work, who had just passed away. With great difficulty, Mr. Scrooge spoke.
You, but how can it be? You died. Go, get away from here. Leave me alone. I haven't done anything wrong.
The ghost's hands and feet were in shackles. He told Mr. Scrooge, due to his selfishness and greediness, he was punished and that his punishment was to walk around the world in shackles. And so he warned Mr. Scrooge not to make the same mistake he did.
You go and mind your own business. You're dead. There you have it. I want to thank Mr. Scrooge for giving me the opportunity to work and for paying me on time. We are able to eat because of him.
Even though Mr. Scrooge was nasty to his helper at every chance he got, he was amazed at how thankful he was. Later he noticed his helper's sick child. The kid was sitting in his wheelchair at the top corner of the table. He looked thin and sick. Mr. Scrooge was very sad for the child.
This child is very ill and hasn't got much time left.
After hearing this, Mr. Scrooge's sadness grew bigger. Later on, the ghost took him to his nephew's home. All his family was having so much fun eating. They even had an empty seat waiting for him.
Wish Uncle was here with us.
Mr. Scrooge did not expect to see this.
He always thought that his whole family had hated him.
At that moment, the ghost told him that it was time for him to die and revealed two kids standing under his jacket. It was a girl and a boy. But with their skinny figures and scary faces, they looked more like two old skeletons than kids.
Pay attention to these kids. They represent greedy and unconcerned people. When it is time for you to die, pay special attention to the boy.
The giant green ghost also disappeared. Mr. Scrooge did not quite understand what the ghost was trying to say, but suddenly he startled with the sound of the clock. It was midnight. This time, there appeared a darker and scarier ghost in front of him. This one was the ghost of the future. He brought Mr. Scrooge to his own funeral. People were gathered at his grave in a graveyard. Mr. Scrooge was shocked when he saw his face on his gravestone. He saw that people were talking behind his back and how they were relieved that he was finally gone. That moment, Mr. Scrooge realized that over the years he had become an even worse person and nobody liked him anymore. People who owed him money were happy with his death. And he saw his helper's son's grave.
Unlike his son's grave was full of flowers.
He could not stand to see it anymore. He asked the ghost to take him back.
Please take me back. Now I understand. I'm going to change the way I live. I'm not going to be that stingy old grumpy man. I promise you.
Suddenly he was home. Luckily, the time wasn't 12 yet. His dog began to bark. Mr. Scrooge noticed it was still that same day. He still had time to change some things. With great happiness, he jumped out onto the street. First, he visited the butcher. He bought a big turkey and asked if he could take it to his helper's home. Then he bought a toy and asked if they could take it to his helper's son. Then he ran and went to his brother's house. He joined the dinner his nephew had invited him to. That night, they all had a great New Year's Eve together. Later on, he made sure his helper's son got the treatment he needed. He treated him as if he was his own son.